Hums, pulses, and distant echoes. Space has been whispering to us.
Something strange is reaching us from deep space. Every 2 hours, a pulse of radio waves ripples through the cosmos, baffling astronomers.
Some signals repeat. Some never come back. Are they natural? Or is something trying to reach us? This is the story of the strangest signals we've ever heard, and the question no one can shake. Are we being watched? Can you imagine a signal so shocking that you have to say, wow, such a thing actually happened? Let's start with the most famous space signal ever recorded, the WOW signal. So, it's 1977, and astronomer Jerry Ehman is casually combing through radio data from the Big Ear Telescope in Ohio. Just your average night of listening to space static, when a 72-second signal pops up. Powerful and laser-focused. Jerry's so stunned, he literally circles the printout and writes, "Wow!" in red pen. That's how it got the name. The signal had all the signs of an intentional transmission, but here's the thing. It never came back. Scientists tried. Oh, they really tried, scanning the same patch of sky like obsessed X's, but nada. Some say it was a one-time cosmic burp. Others speculate it was an alien saying hello. Still, no one knows. And with modern tech still turning up zilch, people are starting to wonder, what if the aliens moved on? Or worse, went silent forever? Since the 60s, SETI's been searching with projects like Project Ozma. Yeah, like from The Wizard of Oz. But it all began with that one glorious cosmic hello we may never hear again. FRBs. Ever hear a sound so weird, scientists thought it had to be a glitch? That's exactly what happened in 2007, when astronomer Duncan Lorimer caught a bizarre, blink-and-you-miss-it radio signal, just a few milliseconds long, but so powerful, it had everyone scratching their heads. They called it a fast radio burst, or FRB for short. At first, folks thought it was a tech hiccup, or like a microwave someone forgot to unplug, but nope. It came from 3 billion light-years away, and it wasn't alone. Since then, we've found more of these things. Some repeat, some just ghost us. No one's sure what's behind them. Collapsing neutron stars? Magnetars? Or are we picking up space Wi-Fi from aliens powering their ships? One repeater, FRB 12102, has become kind of a legend, blinking at us from the same spot over and over, like it's trying to say something. Harvard's Avi Loeb even tossed out the idea that these could be alien tech. Wild, right? We still don't know what's going on, but one thing's for sure, the universe is definitely keeping secrets. In January 2019, astronomers in Canada were just minding their space business when 13 mysterious signals popped up from 1.5 billion light-years away. 13, all from the exact same spot in space, and no one, not even the brainiest of brainiacs, knows what caused them. But what's super weird? This wasn't the first time something like this happened. It was only the second ever. The telescope that caught it, CHIME, out in British Columbia, had barely started running when it picked these up. Like, turn it on, alien mystery party. Since then, scientists have been scrambling to figure out what's behind these blasts. Is it black holes? Some bizarre cosmic glitch? Or is someone or something out there trying to get our attention? Honestly, we have no clue, and maybe we never will. Proxima Centauri signal. That sound you just heard? Nope. not from a cartoon or a sci-fi movie. It actually came from outer space. Wild, right? Back in 2020, astronomers picked up this super weird, narrow-band radio signal, and it was coming from Proxima Centauri. That's just 4.2 light-years away, basically our next-door neighbor in space. It didn't match anything we've made. No satellites, no leaky Earth tech, just a clean, eerie signal drifting in from the direction of Proxima Centauri b, a possibly habitable planet orbiting a little red dwarf. Naturally, people started whispering, could this be aliens? But then came the buzzkill. After months of digging, experts decided it was likely just Earth interference. You know, like your microwave pretending to be an alien. Still, the fact that we caught something so weird from that close, that keeps the curiosity alive. Some researchers never really let this one go. And honestly, can you blame them? If we're gonna get a call from deep space, wouldn't it make sense it comes from our closest stellar neighbor? Maybe the signal wasn't a message, just a whisper. And maybe we're finally learning how to listen. Black holes. Black holes, the universe's ultimate mystery boxes. First predicted back in 1916 by Einstein's general relativity. They weren't officially spotted until 1971. And since then, they've only gotten weirder. At their core, black holes are like cosmic sinkholes. Regions in space where gravity is so off the charts intense, not even light can escape. That invisible boundary where things vanish forever, it's called the event horizon. Anything that crosses it, gone forever. Into a place where time and physics just stop making sense. Now here's where it gets really freaky. In 2022, NASA converted pressure waves rippling out from a black hole into actual sound. And what came out? Not a sci-fi laser zap. Nope, it was this deep, eerie moan, almost like the universe itself was groaning. Some even dubbed it the screams from hell. Dramatic? Maybe. But listen to it alone in the dark and tell me it doesn't send shivers down your spine. Turns out, even silence in space isn't always silent. Alien megastructure signal. That star flickering out there, it's not just a glitch, it's one of the weirdest things we've ever seen in space. KIC 8462852, aka Tabby Star, first caught astronomers' attention when it dimmed. But not just a little. It lost up to 22% of its brightness for days or even weeks at a time. That's way too much for something like a planet passing in front of it. And it didn't follow any regular pattern either. Some scientists suggested comet debris or the aftermath of a massive planetary collision. But here's the thing. There's no excess infrared radiation. If there were dust clouds, we'd see them glowing in the infrared. But we don't. That's where things get speculative. One astronomer proposed a swarm of alien megastructures, like giant panels harvesting a star's energy, like a partial Dyson sphere. No one's claiming aliens outright, but the star's behavior doesn't fit anything we've seen before. And until we get more data, the mystery of Tabby's star is very much alive. Milky Way FRB. On April 28, 2020, two telescopes made a groundbreaking discovery, an intense pulse of radio waves, an FRB, lasting just a millisecond. This short, sharp signal was so powerful and distinct that it left astronomers stunned. This was the first time an FRB had ever been detected so close to Earth. The signal originated within our own Milky Way galaxy, which is a big deal, because most FRBs detected up until then came from far beyond our galaxy. The signal was picked up by the CHIME, Canadian Hydrogen Intensity Mapping Experiment, telescope, and the Effelsberg Radio Telescope in Germany, even though CHIME wasn't specifically looking for it. The burst was so loud and clear that it caught their attention anyway. Astronomers are still trying to understand what caused this phenomenon. It's a significant step forward in figuring out where FRBs come from, and who knows? Some suggest it could be from colliding black holes, while others have even speculated that they might be pulses sent by alien starships. solar winds. In a spine-chilling move, NASA decided to release an eerie soundtrack to their spooky Halloween playlist. And yes, it's as creepy as it sounds. This unsettling sound was captured by NASA's Parker Solar Probe, which has been orbiting the Sun since 2018. The sound is the result of solar winds, streams of charged particles, like electrons and protons, constantly flowing out of the Sun's corona, the outermost layer of its atmosphere. These particles travel at a mind-blowing 1 million miles per hour. But here's the thing. These solar winds produce chirps, whistles, and rustling noises, which NASA has combined into a terrifying soundtrack. It's almost as if the Sun is communicating in its own haunting way. The Parker Solar Probe, which began studying the Sun up close in November 2018, captured these odd noises as part of its mission. With headphones on, close your eyes, and the raindrop-like sounds actually turn out to be oddly soothing. But then there are those squeaks and chirps, which remind you just how alien and mysterious the Sun really is. Some even joke it's as if the Sun is whistling an otherworldly tune across the solar system. Rings of Saturn. In 2017, NASA's Cassini space probe became the 4th spacecraft to visit Saturn, but it did something none of the others could. It entered Saturn's orbit, and when it did, it started picking up some seriously strange signals. These weren't just your average space noises, they were eerie, unsettling sounds. As the spacecraft traveled through Saturn's rings and its magnetic field, it recorded some bizarre audio that sounded almost unnatural. NASA, in their usual cool way, converted these signals into an audio file and shared them with the world, and people were freaked out. Even the scientists who made the discovery were pretty taken aback. The noise from Saturn was horrifying, described by many as sounding like a ghostly or screaming noise, as if the planet was emitting some kind of otherworldly cry. So what's causing these sounds? It's likely the interaction between Saturn's magnetic field and charged particles from the Sun, but no one could have predicted that the audio would be so spine-chilling. Roar of Jupiter. In June of 2016, NASA's Juno spacecraft made a historic entry into Jupiter's magnetic field, and what it recorded is absolutely chilling. As Juno crossed into the giant planet's magnetosphere, it captured what scientists call the bow shock, the point where the supersonic solar wind slams into Jupiter's magnetic field and is suddenly heated and slowed down. It's the space equivalent of a sonic boom, and the audio NASA released, they called it the Roar of Jupiter. Yeah, it lives up to the name, but it gets worse. The very next day, Juno crossed a second boundary, the magnetopause. This is the line between the Sun's magnetic field and Jupiter's magnetic influence. That's when the spacecraft recorded a much more ominous sound, eerie, pulsing, almost mechanical. Scientists believe it's caused by charged particles trapped and interacting within Jupiter's magnetic field. But let's be honest, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi horror film. These recordings were released as part of NASA's Juno mission, which launched back in August 2011 and reached Jupiter in July 2016. Juno's primary goal is to understand Jupiter's atmosphere and magnetic environment, but what it sounded like was something no one expected. (234) Stars or alien? Here's a wild one. Back in 2016, a group of Canadian astronomers made a discovery that raised more than a few eyebrows. Using data from the Sloan Digital Sky Survey, SDSS, they found that 234 stars, all scattered across different parts of the sky, were blinking in a strangely synchronized pattern, like blinking at the exact same time. Now, stars flicker. We know that. But not like this. Not 234 of them doing it all together like they're following choreography. One of the researchers, Eric Trottier, was especially intrigued. Along with his colleague Professor Hermano Borra from Laval University in Quebec, he published a paper suggesting that this blinking wasn't random. They proposed a bold theory that these could be intentional laser pulses sent out by extraterrestrial civilizations. In other words, someone or something might be trying to get our attention. Their logic: advanced alien life might use rapid optical pulses, like laser flashes, as a method of interstellar communication. So could 234 civilizations be flashing lasers at us? Or is it one civilization controlling many stars somehow? Nobody knows for sure. Follow-up studies haven't confirmed the exact cause, and skeptics argue it could be some instrumental or data processing error. But even now, there's no conclusive explanation. Ganymede. Ganymede isn't just any moon. It's the largest moon in the solar system, even bigger than the planet Mercury. It orbits Jupiter and has its own magnetic field, which is rare for a moon. That, plus an icy surface and possible subsurface ocean, makes it one of the most fascinating celestial bodies out there. But lately, what's grabbed attention isn't what Ganymede looks like, it's what it sounds like. Over the years, spacecraft like NASA's Galileo and more recently, Juno, have flown by Ganymede and picked up some truly bizarre audio. It recorded plasma wave data that was later converted into sound, and let me tell you, the result is unsettling. There's a strange blend of beeps, buzzes, and what can only be described as electronic chatter, like aliens whispering through a glitchy walkie-talkie. And then just when you think it can't get weirder, you hear a sound that honestly resembles a human scream. Faint, but clear. Scientists say it's likely from chorus waves, natural radio emissions caused by energetic particles. But man, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi horror movie. Nobody's saying it's aliens, but nobody's figured out what it really is either. Alien knocking. In 2016, Chinese astronaut Yang Liwei, the very first person China sent into space, shared a spine-chilling experience that still hasn't been explained. His mission, Shenzhou 5, launched on October 15, 2003, making him a national hero. But years later, he revealed something way less heroic. Something that terrified him during the flight. While orbiting Earth alone in the capsule, Yang said he suddenly heard what he could only describe as a knocking sound, like someone tapping the outside of the spacecraft. His exact words were, "It sounded like someone knocking the body of the spaceship just as knocking an iron bucket with a wooden hammer." Creepy, right? Even weirder, the noise wasn't coming from inside either. He checked the porthole. There was no visual clue, damage, or floating debris, just eerie knocking in the middle of space. Since his return, scientists have tried to recreate the sound or simulate the conditions. No luck. Some speculate it was due to thermal expansion or contraction of the spacecraft's hull, but others jokingly whisper about space ghosts or something else tapping to say hello. Voyager plasma sounds. The Voyager plasma sounds. Yeah, that's one way to absolutely obliterate your eardrums. This eerie audio was captured by Voyager 2 back in 1979 as it flew through the outer magnetosphere of Jupiter, marking one of humanity's first up-close encounters with the bizarre noises of space. What you're hearing isn't just random static. According to NASA, the sound was generated at a special plasma frequency influenced by the number of electrons in a given volume and the strength of the magnetic field surrounding them. Basically, space has its own creepy version of an orchestra, and plasma waves are the instruments. As Voyager 2 zipped past, it recorded this shrieking, warbling chorus, alien-sounding, high-pitched, and just plain weird. The last few seconds, strangely peaceful, almost like birds singing at dawn. But of course, there are no birds in space, unless that wasn't a natural symphony at all. Helix Nebula. This is the scariest space recording you'll ever listen to. It came from the Helix Nebula, located roughly 655 light-years away, and it was recorded by none other than the Hubble Space Telescope. Now, space itself is a vacuum. There's no air or sound. So technically, this isn't audio in the traditional sense. Instead, NASA used a method called sonification to translate the nebula's light and data into sound. Basically, it's what the Helix would sound like if space could scream. And boy, does it scream. This clip blew up on social media after people swore it sounded like a woman shrieking, like a ghostly wail echoing through the void. The beginning kinda reminded me of a Scooby-Doo villain doing their usual get outta here shtick, but then that raw, chilling scream hits. Makes you want to turn your lights on, just in case the Helix is watching. Umuama. In 2017, a mysterious object named Umuama flew through our solar system, baffling scientists. Its long, tube-like shape and reflective surface, 10 times more reflective than average space rocks, set it apart from anything we'd seen before. As it passed the sun, it accelerated at a rate faster than gravity could explain, sparking theories of alien technology. Umuama's strange behavior led scientists to wonder, could this be a visitor from another star system? Spotted by astronomers, this object challenged our understanding of space travel. It's rare to detect objects moving at such speeds across vast distances, and Umuama's sudden appearance seemed almost too convenient. Some suggested it could be a panspermia agent, carrying tiny microbes that could spread life between star systems. This theory proposes that life could hitch a ride on objects like asteroids and comets, seeding new planets. Though there's no evidence yet to prove it's spreading life, Umuama's bizarre characteristics leave the door wide open for wild speculation. Is it a natural space rock, or are we looking at something far more extraordinary? Only time and further exploration will tell. Gamma ray burst. You may have heard of gamma rays thanks to their association with the Hulk's green strength, but the truth behind gamma ray radiation is far more intense and far more dangerous than any superhero origin story. In fact, gamma radiation is a very real and powerful force swirling around in space. In 2012, researchers discovered evidence that Earth was struck by a mega blast of gamma radiation sometime during the Middle Ages. The source of this burst remains unclear, but a recent study suggests it might have been the result of two black holes merging somewhere in our galaxy. When black holes collide, they release an enormous amount of energy, and if this explosion happened near Earth, it would have sent a devastating burst of gamma radiation in our direction. Now, while this particular burst occurred roughly 12,000 light-years away, scientists point out that if it had been any closer, the consequences could have been catastrophic. A gamma-ray burst hitting Earth directly could have destroyed the ozone layer, which protects us from harmful solar radiation, potentially devastating life on our planet. And if this burst had happened in modern times, Rather than back in the medieval era, it likely would have taken down every satellite orbiting Earth. Imagine life without the internet, GPS, or communication satellites. It would essentially cripple modern civilization. Martian Winds. In 2019, NASA released a groundbreaking audio recording from the InSight rover, marking the first ever direct recordings of Martian winds. Captured by the rover's sensitive seismometer, the winds on Mars are unlike anything heard on Earth. Subtle, eerie, and faint. Wind speeds ranged from 5 to 15 miles per hour, creating soft, whispering gusts, whistling and swooshing sounds that float through the thin Martian atmosphere. What makes this recording so fascinating is the stark difference from earthly winds. Mars' thin, dry atmosphere, without the moisture and density of Earth's air, creates a ghostly, desolate quality to the sound. When you listen, it feels as though you're standing in an empty, distant landscape, listening to a breeze that's almost too faint to believe. These haunting whispers from another world capture the silent, lonely nature of Mars, giving us an audio snapshot of a place that feels as far from home as possible. Dark Side of the Moon.
That is music even sound counter-spacey, doesn't it? You hear that?
During NASA's Apollo missions, particularly Apollo 10 and Apollo 11 in 1969, astronauts recorded eerie sounds on the moon, which became known as the lunar soundscape. While the moon lacks an atmosphere to carry sound waves, the audio captured sharp beeps, strange hums, and distorted noises originating from electrical interactions between the spacecraft and the moon's surface. These electromagnetic phenomena were caused by the spacecraft systems interacting with the moon's environment, where solar radiation and charged particles caused strange audio distortions. The Apollo 10 mission, in particular, recorded what sounded like a musical hum. An unsettling sound that bewildered the astronauts. They initially believed the sounds might have been coming from the spacecraft itself, but later determined it was a result of electrical fields generated by the moon's environment. These eerie recordings were never intended for public release, but they've since captivated listeners, adding to the moon's mysterious allure. Some scientists theorize that these sounds, particularly the hum or buzz, might not be natural at all. Instead, they speculate that the noises could be linked to alien artifacts buried beneath the moon's surface. While mainstream explanations suggest the sounds are a result of magnetic interactions or solar wind, there's another theory that ties these sounds to possible alien machinery or communication systems hidden on the moon.
That is music even sound counter-spacey, doesn't it? You hear that?
Venus sounds. NASA's Parker Solar Probe made history by flying through Venus's upper atmosphere during its third flyby of the planet. This daring maneuver led to an exciting discovery: the detection of low-frequency radio emissions, a phenomenon that had never been studied in such detail before. These radio emissions were created by the interaction between Venus's thick, turbulent atmosphere and the solar wind. The data gathered provides valuable insights into Venus's ionosphere and its interaction with the sun's plasma, helping scientists understand more about the planet's magnetic environment. NASA didn't stop there. They took these low-frequency waves and sonified them, converting the data into sound waves we could actually hear. A low, rumbling hum that sounds almost otherworldly, giving us a glimpse into Venus's atmosphere and its dynamic space weather. One theory suggests that these radio emissions could be artificial signals from an alien civilization residing on Venus or beneath its atmosphere. Though mainstream science attributes the sounds to natural causes, the unusual patterns of the emissions continue to spark curiosity. Could Venus be hiding something? Or is this simply nature's voice from a distant world? Pulsar sounds. In 2011, astronomers observed the unusual behavior of PSR B0943 plus 10, a rotating neutron star located approximately 3,000 light-years away. Unlike typical pulsars, which emit regular pulses of radiation, this one displayed erratic behavior, switching between radio waves and X-ray emissions without warning. This unexpected shift challenged established theories, which suggested that these two types of emissions corresponded to different stages in a pulsar's life. The pulsar's rapid switches occurred within seconds, surprising scientists and defying conventional models. Discovered in the 1960s, it wasn't until 2011 that this strange trait was detected, offering a rare glimpse into the complex physics of neutron stars. PSR B0943 plus 10 continues to challenge our understanding of these cosmic lighthouses. Hogues Object. Hogues Object, a ring galaxy located about 600 million light-years away in the constellation Serpens, is one of the most mysterious galaxies known to science. Discovered in 1950 by astronomer Arthur Hogue, this galaxy features a bright, central nucleus of older stars, surrounded by a sharply defined ring of younger stars, making it visually distinct. The ring galaxy structure is rare, and its formation remains unclear, with several hypotheses about how it came to be. Some scientists have proposed that its symmetry is too perfect to be natural, leading to speculative theories that Hogues Object might be an alien megastructure. This idea suggests it could be a device for energy generation, communication, or observation, similar to Dyson spheres, hypothetical structures created by advanced civilizations. An unsettling sound was created from the sonification of radio waves detected from Hogues Object. This eerie sound adds to the mystery, leaving us to wonder whether it's just natural cosmic noise or something more ominous. Black Widow Pulsar. The Black Widow Pulsar, located about 6,500 light-years away in the constellation Sagittarius, is one of the most fascinating and destructive objects in space. This pulsar is engaged in a cosmic dance with its companion star, with its intense gravity and radiation slowly vaporizing its partner. Over time, this companion, once comparable in mass to our Sun, has been reduced to just a tenth of its original mass. The pulsar's radiation is as rhythmic and intense as a cosmic lighthouse, casting regular pulses into space. This violent process gives the pulsar its name, likening it to a black widow spider consuming its mate. Despite its predatory nature, the Black Widow Pulsar offers astronomers a unique opportunity to study the effects of extreme gravity and radiation on stellar bodies, revealing the raw power and strange beauty of the universe. Auroral Chorus. This isn't a car's alarm going off. This is actually our Earth defending itself from solar winds. Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. What you're hearing, well, not hearing, but imagining in your head if you could, is something called the Auroral Chorus. It's basically nature's own radio station, created by the movement of charged particles from the solar wind. These particles spiral along Earth's magnetic field lines, eventually reaching the poles where they cause a wild light show we know as the Aurora Borealis up north and the Aurora Australis down south. But wait, it gets better. While these particles are doing their light show thing, they're also making radio waves. Now, these radio waves aren't your average FM signals. No, they have a frequency that humans can't hear. But scientists can take those waves and turn them into sounds we can actually hear. The result was a cosmic melody that sounds like eerie chirps, whistles, and high-pitched beeps. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.